We start with breaking news. ICE operations have been happening throughout Denver and Aurora since around 6 this morning. So far, we've confirmed reports of these operations at least 4 different apartment complexes. Those are the Jewel Apartments near Colorado and Mexico, the Whispering Pines near 13th Avenue and Helena, the Edge at Lowry near 12th and Dallas in Aurora, and the Cedar Run Apartments near Oneida and Leetsdale. We have team coverage from those scenes. Jennifer Meckles has been live all morning long from the Cedar Run Apartments in East Denver. And there's a large group of people outside the state capitol staging their own rally against what's happening across the U.S. But we start with Rhea Jha, who's staging at Mexico and Colorado, just minutes away from Jewel Apartments. Rhea, what are you seeing now?
Yeah, the last of the federal agents that were here just left within the last 10 to 20 minutes. But when we got here around 10 a.m., there were huge armored vehicles, big vans, and officers decked out in tactical gear. Then they all left within the convoy, and we followed them over to Jewel Apartments, where more than 100 officers got out and surrounded the building. It was officers from the Department of Homeland Security, DEA, ATF, and ICE. We spoke with neighbors who lived there who were woken up to federal agents banging on their door.
They banged on the door, opened the door, and they were like knee deep in front of my door. And they were asking me if I was American or if I was legal.
Residents say that agents were going door to door asking them, as he said, for IDs or asking them if they were American. What they said is they saw 3 people maximum getting detained, but obviously we can only report what we have seen, what we know, and what people are telling us. We're going to send it over to Jennifer Meckles, who is over at the Cedar Run Apartments. Jennifer, what is it looking like over there?
Rhea, it's a very different scene here because this is no longer an active scene. This morning, certainly busy, similar to what she's describing. This afternoon, quiet. There's no sign of federal vehicles, and people have returned to their apartments this afternoon. But for hours this morning, the entire complex was blocked off, completely surrounded by federal agents. We're told this was Homeland Security's operation, but we saw FBI and DEA on scene here. They brought, again, tactical vehicles, even a bus out here for this operation. It is unclear at this scene as well exactly how many people were detained today. I can tell you I personally saw 2 people in cuffs loaded onto a bus. 2. That's the number I counted personally. Witnesses here tell me that they said whatever the number is, it appeared to be a fairly small number loaded onto the bus compared to the very large show of force. The disruption, though, was notable. Some people describe waking up the same as what Rhea heard. Federal agents banging on their doors, asking for identification. Some people being unable to come and go from their own homes. I talked to one woman who stepped out to walk her dog. She got stuck outside with her little newborn. Talked to another man, came home from work after an overnight shift, couldn't get into his house, and just stuck outside on the sidewalk for hours.
I saw one person get arrested and escorted on the bus. I saw many, many vehicles, lots of weapons, such big armored cars. They were blocking exits to the apartments. They were blocking exits from the garages. It was all a very intimidating scene. I think honestly as residents maybe we knew that this was a possibility, but you don't know how you're going to deal with it or what it's really like until it's here. And now when it's here, it's very scary.
Also a disruption this morning. Denver Public Schools, we're in the city of Denver, said that there is a school bus that had to adjust its route this morning because it was supposed to make a stop in this area. But with the closures, they were unable to get through here. So we know there was a slight disruption to school pickup time. A lot of protesters also lined the sidewalk here throughout the morning to see what was going on, and in many cases, yelling back at those officers that they saw, challenging them about what they were doing. Reporting in Denver, Jennifer Meckles, 9 News.
Jenny, you've been live since very early this morning once this all started to break out. So thank you for staying on top of it and your latest live report. As we mentioned, we've also confirmed ICE operations happened at the Whispering Pines apartment complex in Aurora as well. It happened just after 6 this morning. An immigration advocate with the Colorado People's Alliance believes federal agents detained as many as 8 people, including 1 minor, without judicial warrants. A woman on scene also told 9 News that her husband was one of those people. She said he is currently in the country without proper documentation, but she says she doesn't believe that he was a target, simply just caught up in what happened. The immigration advocates that we spoke with says that agents created a lot of confusion and fear.
We do know that ICE then forced their way in, and I was able to go upstairs and take pictures of the door, and you can see that they shoved the entire lock bolt out of the door in order to force entry. We also know that they used pellets in guns and shot at people.
We are working to find out exactly how many people were detained and what their charges are. We will continue to follow this story as it develops. Now that schools are not off limits to immigration raids, students are working to make their voices heard. Kids from several Denver high schools, along with community members, are now at the state capitol. Here's a live look at that crowd. Some of those students even marched from their schools for the event. New developments on the fight against Trump's birthright citizenship executive order. A second federal judge has ordered it to be paused. The citizenship order calls for an end to the right that anyone born in the U.S. is automatically a U.S. citizen, even if their parent is in the country illegally. That's outlined under the 14th Amendment. A different federal judge put the executive order on hold within days of Trump issuing it. Several organizations in 22 states, including Colorado, are suing to stop the order as well. Not guilty. That's the verdict from jurors for a man who says he shot another driver at a Tesla charging station in self-defense. Deliberations started late yesterday. Jeremy Smith had been charged with second-degree murder and manslaughter. Prosecutors say it started as road rage between him and the victim, Adam Fresquez, back in May of 2023. They both pulled over at the charging station at Edgewater Public Market, and at some point, Smith shot Fresquez. Some gusty winds possible today, but the temperature is swinging back up. Joining me now is Keely Chalmers with our 9 News Weather Impact team. We had a little bit of a dip, but we are right back at it, Keely.
Oh yeah, we are flirting once again this afternoon with 70 degrees, but yes, it is windy out. It is a hold on to your hat type of day, 65 already at DIA, but check out those winds out of the west, 29 miles per hour. We're going to get 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts, possibly even 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts as we head into the 1 o'clock hour. Current temperatures, you can see there is that Arctic cold air that impacted so many yesterday. It is slowly eroding, but it is fairly stubborn, so very slowly, still 37 degrees in Ray, 39 in Sterling, but we're warming up in Greeley to 44 degrees. So again, we've got temperatures climbing into the 60s, winds again starting to pick up, 30-mile-per-hour winds out at the airport. Forecast highs, we are looking at 60s, even some 70s down across the southern plains, but we are in store for some big changes this week, and more on that coming up in your complete forecast in just a bit.